Hi, it's Ariel with Auto City in El Cajon, San Diego's award-winning used car dealership. This little bugger behind me is a 2015 Mercedes Benz CLA 45 AMG in Cirrus white, which means cloud white, and a black interior that's a mixture of leather, Alcantara, and red accents, red seatbelts, red stitching, etc. Admittedly, my personal experience with AMG is limited, to say the least. Okay, I've never driven an AMG car, as a matter of fact. Coming over from Camp BMW, I know almost nothing about AMG, except for the fact that they were once an independent tuning company that modified and beefed up Mercedes-Benz cars starting somewhere in the mid-'80s, and then became Mercedes-Benz in-house tuner, rivaling the likes of BMW's M division. Now, from what I read about this little CLA behind me, this one in particular, from the research I did and the information that I found out about this car, which I will be sharing with you over the course of this video, this seems like it's going to be a rather suiting car in which to pop my AMG cherry. Let's do it. In a 2-liter CLA. All right, let's see what this thing's all about. Really? I was trying to get like the vroom. Thank you very much.
Oh, you mean like this? Clear it out, baby, clear it out. Okay, this AMG-ified CLA is powered by a, 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine. But rather than harp on the 2-liter 4-cylinder part, allow me to emphasize the turbo part, cause man oh man a Shevitz is this thing turbocharged. 355 horsepower, 332 pound-feet of torque on Mercedes-Benz's littlest 4-door subcompact sedan makes for some ludicrous speed. So buckle up. Buckle this. Not to mention its pairing with a 6-speed shiftable automatic with 7th gear overdrive and flappy paddles. This 4-cylinder engine also happens to be pretty dang fuel efficient. 31 miles to the gallon highway, 23 city. You don't see numbers like that in the 6-cylinder BMW M2, now do you? Now, according to my research, this car came from a dealership in New Hampshire called Holloway Motors. How it got from New Hampshire to California is inconsequential, but what is consequential is that Holloway Motors is known all over the world as the Mercedes-Benz dealership from which to buy a new AMG car. They just get the special ones with the extra bits, custom thises and thatses. It's a desirable dealer badge. Now, unfortunately, that's as far as my research took me, because how do you internet? So other than the engine being hand-built and stamped by AMG master engineer Philip Sol... I'm not 100% sure what else makes this Holloway AMG stand out among others. But it's here now at Auto City, and that's all that matters. And after driving this car, but for a few miles, it's apparent to me that it really doesn't matter where this thing came from, because it's a frickin' little monster.
And here we go. Okay, if you push on the throttle like a normal gentle car, it actually just kind of acts like a regular old 4-cylinder car. Doot-dee-doot-dee-doot-dee-doot-dee-doot-dee-doo along, right? But when you give the throttle a little more juice and you allow the turbo to spool up, holy shit, this thing is fast. Wow. Okay, as far as acceleration goes, this is hands down one of the best accelerating cars that I have driven, not ever, but definitely at Auto City. So as far as that goes, yeah, this car is an absolute winner. As far as the tires that they currently have on this, they are incredibly grippy and allow for some serious planted cornering. What I don't like about this car is, first of all, there is some turbo lag, which is a little annoying. It's fun when the turbo finally kicks in. That's what makes it exciting and special. However, what's worse than the turbo lag is the turbo drop off, if that makes any sense. I don't know what the proper terminology is for that. You car guys might have to help me out, but the turbo is a little unpredictable. So I kind of have less control over my throttle and less control over acceleration around sharp turns if I'm trying to sort of brake and gas like you would, you know, around a turn. Well, you wouldn't brake and gas and brake and gas. You would, you know, you would brake before the turn and gas into the turn, right? But this car is actually a little hard to do that. I want to gas into the turn. I got no turbo. I got nothing. Okay, so when you're in sport mode, the turbo's a little more responsive. The acceleration has a little bit more control. But still, on slowdowns, on braking, it's a little less predictable. Let's go into manual mode and really see what this thing can do. Whoa! Did you hear that? Oh, this is an angry little car. Ooh! All right. Never again in my life will I ever overlook AMG. Never again. Never again will my BMW snobbery make me scoff at anything Mercedes related, except of course the 190E and the Cosworth 190E, which have been one of my dream cars since the very beginning. But never again will I deny the power and ferocity of AMG, even compared to modern M cars like the M2, which I just love. This car, once you get it into the right settings, once you start to understand it, I have not only better acceleration in this car than I do the DCT M2, but I have more control as well. It's very civilized, despite being such a wild animal. It's a domesticated wild animal, and for that, I think it's absolutely fantastic. Holy cow, is this a good car?
Well, my tune changed rather quick. Find a setting that suits you, in my case full flappy paddle mode, and you got yourself a hit. Moving on from this car's performance, let's for a moment judge a book by its cover and address its looks. It's weird looking, isn't it? Yeah, it's like from the side you can't really tell which direction it's facing, kind of like the jelly bean Ford Taurus of the 90s. This CLA and the larger CLS are supposed to be four-door coupes rather than sedans, so they swooped the body lines as if to give it a coupey feel, but I think they're trying just a little too hard. It's such a small size that squeezing four doors into a sloped coupe body is awkward and cramped. Works for the larger CLS, doesn't so much work here, and as a result, visibility suffers. Huge A, B, and C pillars plus low-slung window frames make for lots of blind spots. This also means interior cabin space suffers as well. It's cramped, a little claustrophobic, less ergonomic than BMW's 2 Series, and less open and airy than Audi's A3. Not uncomfortable, the AMG-only seats are sporty and snug. Plus, they're slathered in Alcantara along with the door panels, and there are some really cool details hidden within. The shifter looks like a piece of fried calamari. To me anyway. And the stamped AMG badge is a nice touch. It's just awkward. Takes a little getting used to. It's also dark and ominous. It's like looking out of Darth Vader's helmet. Is that a bad thing? I don't really know. But trust me, with a car this fast, you're going to want to memorize where all your controls are, be they driver controls or creature comforts. And you're going to want to quickly learn how to see your way around blind spots. You're going to need all the alertness and awareness you can possibly get, because it's really fast.
I think what I appreciate more than just the power in this car is the fact that the comfort mode, once you get into it, it also just makes it a very manageable daily cruiser. You know, like I said, if you don't mash the throttle, it operates more or less as a standard four-cylinder that also happens to be super quiet, super comfortable, and, you know, super sleek and super luxurious. It's a Mercedes Benz after all, and I always kind of scoffed at the CLA, thinking it was like a cheap entry-level model, and maybe other versions of the CLA are, but this one, the AMG version, is super solid. I mean, it's a super quiet car with incredible solid build quality here, and I'm super impressed with this car. It's not perfect as a daily driver. It is a little cramped in here. It's very small. It's smaller than the BMW 2 Series in here, even though it's a four-door. It's tight. Visibility out the rear because of that bulky rear end is challenging. It's tricky. I really don't know how to, you know, back out or back up into a parking spot with this car is kind of challenging. The A-pillars are a little bit thick. The C-pillars are ridiculous, but Now this is comfort mode, and the acceleration is beautiful. It's the perfect balance between manageability and, you know, amazing showcase of power. It's great. And when you get stuck behind an old van like you're doing now, it's not like gonna kill you, you know? It's really nice at just cruising. So, you know, we need to put it back into sport mode, however. Ooh, it's an angry little car. Okay, this thing's a little monster, and I like it. If you'd like to come take a look at this car, or any other less monstrous cars we have on our award-winning lot, come see us in El Cajon, San Diego, or check us out online at goautocity.com. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Keep driving. Auto City. It's an angry little car.
What?
It's an angry little car.
The most powerful four-cylinder in the world. Very fast?
It's very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a cramped little car, though. It's like really cozy. I kind of like it. What am I going to do now? I kind of like it.